G'day, I'm Shay Small and this is my documentary that I'm creating for my BSA626 3D animation paper. Basically this is going to be a rundown of my entire year, a quick rundown. I'm not so good with memory, so let's give it my best shot. The first thing I want to talk about my documentation is actually the research, which is hugely inspired by Rick and Morty with the whole space theme, the rubber hose kind of slender characters. Though I understand that Rick and Morty is a 2D animation, I still feel like they could easily do it in 3D. I mean, they've been adapted into games like Fortnite, which is technically a 3D game, and so I think it would work, and I kind of took inspiration of that with the designs and the look of everything, as well as the tone lighting, which I decided to have a go on. I mean, it was really hard, kind of complex, but to be fair, I'd probably do it again just because I love the look of the tone lighting on it, the tone cell shading to be specific. After done research, basically the next thing to do was to create concept of my character and models and maybe background, mood board of the animation I'll be creating. So it went pretty well. Obviously the designs changed a wee bit over time, just almost simplified. That comes down with time scaling and management of my time. I'm not the best at the management, but anyway, I'll discuss that in the reflections. But I think the design, I like the design. It's nice, simplistic, good silhouette to look at, differentiates from everything else. I just like the look of it, to be honest. But yeah, then next thing we done really was to design characters in Maya. This was pretty cool. Very hard, and I thought it was tedious at the start. Though once you start learning what you're doing, then it becomes pretty second nature and pretty easy. Though I did make a mistake with my character design, as this is more of a learning year for 3D, and I decided that my character didn't have a face, instead it was a helmet. So next year, if I was going to pursue with 3D animation for my personal project, I'm going to have to learn how to do faces. So I'll be hitting up you, Chris, for that. Cheers, mate. Basically, after we created the concepts and stuff and made the designs in Maya, we designed the models, so like other extras and all that that'll be in the animation. So I have a satellite, as well as my second character, which is Jim the snail, and last but not least, my bad, is the spaceship, which is probably my favorite model or favorite part about this 3D animation. I don't know, I just love the way to create it, really. Found some research online, which was actually some NASA 3D models that was made in 2004, 6, 5, something like that. Those are weird numbers, but something old like that, and they were not so good. So I basically completely made my own one, made it obviously more simplified, sketchy looking, and I really enjoyed the output of it. Outcome. I'm leaving it in. Yeah, so basically after that, design set, which mine was pretty easy. It's just the space, you know. So there was just a skybox, which took us a little while, to be fair, because I don't really have my head wrapped around the whole skybox and sky dome kind of different aspects of it, especially with the problems with lighting and tone cell shading that came along with it. But we got that sorted out towards the end. After that, had some stuff going on in my life. Obviously stuff does happen. Should I have been prepared for it? Not necessarily, but should I have planned to have something bad happen? Yes. I wish I created plan B or made a contingency plan in case something did happen, which a lot of things happened in my life around that time after I made the skybox and whatnot and was going towards texturing and animating. I won't go too deep into it, but basically it took off like maybe a few weeks of work, which doesn't sound too much, but is a lot within a paper's time frame, especially in a second semester under a time crunch. But yeah, really need to learn to create a contingency plan, or just plan B, and sort that out with time management skills, which I'm still working on. I said this last year as well. I'm still working on. I'm getting better, but still working on them. But yeah, the next thing I'm going to talk about is basically the audio, which I found pretty easily because I kind of know my way around doing research and looking up stuff specifically. So I got mine from Epidemic Sounds, which I do pay for, which just means basically by getting the subscription you can get the audio, like music, sound effects, extra stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. You can get that stuff for free. All you need to do is just credit the producer, I'd say you'd call it. So yeah, just use credits for them. Basically that's all you need to do, unless you want to get like the extra like ones that you just tip, or you can contact people through Epidemic Sounds, I think, but I didn't do that. But yeah, after doing that, started animating, which this was very handy of Chris, because he gave me a lot of time, as it is currently the 29th of November 2022. Pretty sure this was originally supposed to be done by the 9th of October, something rather. It's been outrageous, but Chris has been a lad because shit just doesn't work. Because after that my rigging failed. Not too sure why. It's like the skeleton's separated and create duplicates every time I try to just move it. And after that it took a few days. Started to try and render stuff. Was getting ready to do it, getting ready to finish everything, and my rendering wasn't working. For some reason it was creating its own camera. I wouldn't use the cameras I wanted, so couldn't really render anything. Well, I couldn't, except for the first one, the first shot that I was able to render. So yeah, I got one great looking shot, and the rest are just play-bys. But yeah, I mean, that comes with like reflection on the project, really. I mean, did I enjoy it? Yeah, love it. Love 3D, to be honest. I kind of like it more in 2D. I always thought that 2D was going to be my baby, or the thing I would have, like, my dream thing to do or pursue. But 3D kind of just proved itself to me this year, because 2D, like, I'm not going, it gets tedious drawing every frame because I don't like rigging. And that's another problem with Harmony, just for me, because I'm not good at it. But you gotta learn, don't you? Gotta learn, you gotta live, laugh. But yeah, I mean, biggest takeaway from this is literally contingency plan for when stuff doesn't work, and also file management, time management, extra planning, because with that I would have done a little bit more detail with character. I would have done some extra detailing with lighting, would have done an outline like similar to Borderlands. I would have also had done better audio for my own voice I done, because it might get a bit tricky hearing two of myself, because I was supposed to do a radio kind of sound effect on one of them, but it is what it is, I guess. That's just what I could put in and what time I had, because yeah, that's life, I guess. But yeah, this is my documentary. I'm Shay Small, and thank you for watching.